Bring it back from the dead. Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Yeah, Prada Loam Intense. Apparently discontinued. That sucks. It made my top 10 winter fragrances this year. How are you gonna discontinue it, man? Now my list is stupid. I got a discontinued one on there. So today I'm gonna be going over 5 different fragrances other than this one that I think could be discontinued soon. Now when I say that, I don't mean that I have some crazy insider information. I'm not telling you that these 5 fragrances are already discontinued or anything like that. I'm just saying, if these did get discontinued and you couldn't find them anymore, it wouldn't be too much of a surprise. So let's jump into it. Let's check these out. Now, Prada Loam Intense, like I said. So this first choice is really obvious, but that doesn't mean it's not a good choice, at least my opinion. It's Prada Loam Low. It's got iris, neroli, ginger, and some powder, along with sandalwood as some of the notes in the scent. So if Prada Loam Intense is discontinued, it's really hard to find, and most people would say that Prada Loam Intense is maybe a little bit more desirable than Prada Loam Low. Probably not good for this one. Actually, interestingly, the whole Prada Loam line seems to be kind of on the way out in a way, other than maybe the original. Prada Loam Absolute, nope. Prada Loam Water Splash, nope. Prada Loam Intense, nah. So that leaves pretty much Prada Loam and Prada Loam Low. Prada Loam Low is still on sale at Macy's, so that's good. But if memory serves, that's pretty much it. Macy's. More than Prada Loam Intense. That's the first sale approximately nowhere. Yeah. So with the Prada Loam line kind of laying an egg apparently, and this one being basically just a fresher version of Prada Loam, it wouldn't surprise me if this is on the way out soon. The original though, the original Prada Loam, you can still find that one for sale a bunch of different places. So if nothing else, that one looks like it's safe for now. So I mean, that's something. Hopefully in the near future, we'll see a Prada Loam flanker come out that will let us know, it'll be a signal that the line itself is still safe and that they're just kind of shuffling things around for better or worse. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. Up next, another fresh fragrance. It's from Armani and it's Cold Colonia. It's got tonka and amberwood along with citrus and orange blossom as some of the notes in the scent. This one never took off in a huge way as far as the fragrance community is concerned. A lot of people were like, no man, it's too boring. I don't like fresh fragrances. It's not bad though. I mean, it is what it says it is. It's a fresher take on Armani Code. Now, if you've not been around for a minute, you may not realize this, but Armani has put out a bunch of Code fragrances over the years. I know here lately it's been, Profumo and Absolute and Eau de Parfum and Absolute Gold, but before that, there were a lot of Code flankers, both limited editions and releases that ended up being limited because they just didn't do so well. So Armani's not scared of cutting off a Code when they need to. And actually, I was on a live stream with the Beast Mode Gents the other day. Shout out Beast Mode Gents. If you'd like to join the Beast Mode Gents, click the join button below or check the link in the description. But I was on a live stream with them. Somebody made a good point, very valid point. They said most designer fragrances that are coming out nowadays are basically limited editions, because nowadays brands aren't really giving a lot of time to these fragrances. They basically put them out there, and if they crush it, they're like, okay, you can stay until your sales drop, and then so they're basically giving them a couple years, and if they're not really taking off by that point, discontinued, get out of here. So Code Colonia has definitely been out long enough that it could be getting that axe before too long. And as far as where this one is being sold right now, it's being sold on Giorgio Armani's website, so that's good. And then outside of discounters, which don't really count as far as whether something's being discontinued or not, it's being sold at Saks Off 5th. Saks Off 5th, in case you're unaware, is basically where the clothes from Saks Fifth Avenue go to die. It's like Nordstrom Rack, basically. or TJ Maxx, like a higher end TJ Maxx. So that's where you can find code Colonia. Again, usually not a great sign when it's removed from places like Macy's and instead goes to Saks Off 5th. Next up, a fragrance that very well could already be discontinued, but even if it is, I think you'll be able to find it at discounters for a long time. It's Hugo Iced from Hugo Boss, part of the extremely high-end Canteen collection. I'm just playing, these are all pretty much cheap, but they're also cheap at discounters. Retail, I think this was like 84. Ooh, rough. So this one has mint, it's got tea, bitter orange, and vetiver. Actually pretty nice fragrance, all things considered for the price. It's fresh, it's brisk, it's clean, it's easy to wear. It's not like the highest end smelling fragrance ever. It's got kind of a synthetic feel to it, but still for the price, it's fine. As far as retailers, pretty much none. I mean, you can still find it at discounters, like I said, but even on Hugo Boss's website, this thing is out of stock. And I think it's the kind of out of stock that comes from not being made anymore, not the kind of out of stock that comes from, oh my God, Hugo Iced, I gotta get it. I think it's more so, we're not making this anymore. Still though, like I said, you want a cheap fragrance that's gonna do you well in spring and summer, it's worth checking out, but I think it's not long for this world, we'll say. Frankly though, I would say most of the fragrances that come out in this line, they're probably not gonna be around all that long. Just about all of them you could view as a limited edition, and I don't think you'd be wrong. Okay, up next, got a really good one for fall and winter. Actually love this line of fragrances, and unfortunately I guess they just don't really sell as far as the general public goes. It's Cavalli Uomo Deep Desire. Hey, you remember Cavalli Uomo La Notte? Yeah, that one's close to impossible to find, and unfortunately looks like this one's gonna follow in that fragrance's footsteps as best as I can tell. It's got cinnamon, saffron, cedar, cashmere, and mandarin orange as some of the notes in the scent. Like I said, perfect in cool weather. Great date night fragrance. Compliment puller, really alluring, inviting, sexy. It's a nice scent. Packaging on it as well, really enjoy. The bottle looks cool, but yeah, Cavalli Uomo just seems to not really do it for a lot of people, I guess. It doesn't have as much name recognition, maybe. Now, I went onto Cavalli's website, tried to find that, and I couldn't. So I don't know if I wasn't looking in the right place, or maybe the search function wasn't working, or if it's just not on there. Now, the ladies' version of Deep Desire, I could find that. Couldn't find this one though. And actually that just goes for this fragrance in general. The ladies' version of Deep Desire, you can pull that up pretty easily across multiple websites. The men's version, not so much. Outside of discounters, pretty much can't find it anywhere. Now, this fragrance has never been super cheap at discounters, but thankfully it's not gone up really. It seems to be about the same price after discount, somewhere in the $50 to $55 range at discounters. So at least it's not shooting up to, 90 or 100 plus. But Cavalli Deep Desire, wouldn't surprise me if that one goes the way of the dinosaurs, and frankly, the whole Cavalli Uomo line. I mean, it's a good line. It just needs some support, man. It just needs people to wear it, dude. Seriously, it's solid. Silver Essence, nice fragrance. Deep Desire, La Notte, love them. The worst of the bunch is probably the original, but even that one is solid, and I think that's the cheapest one. So it kind of balances out, It's maybe not the best in the line, but it's the cheapest. So Cavalli Deep Desire, if that one goes away, I wouldn't be surprised, and maybe I'll shed a little tear for it. All right, last up, we started with Prada. We're gonna end with Prada. Lunarosa Sport, lavender, vanilla, juniper, tonka, and ginger. Some of the notes in this scent, it's kind of like Prada's take on La Male. So out of everything here, I would think this one is the safest as of right now, because it's still on sale at a bunch of different retailers, still on Prada's website. So I don't think this is a fragrance that's gonna just snap out of existence here in the next, few months or something. But if you go to websites like Macy's, where this is being sold at retail, you sort by bestsellers for the Prada Lunarosa line, that one is the worst. Maybe the worst sounds too harsh. It sells the least amount of bottles. So you've got Ocean, you have Carbon, you've got Black, then you have the original, and then Sport. And of course, the kind of spin-off from this one, O Sport, that one is already kaput. At least best as I can tell it is. So you've already got the spin-off of this one gone. Prada has already shown a propensity to discontinue fragrances in their lines that maybe aren't selling up to what they expect them or want them to do. Just look at Prada Lunarosa Extreme. People, at least in the community, seem to really love that fragrance. I did. I've got my bottle right over here, and yet it got axed. So it's not like Prada is against taking these fragrances off shelves, you know, they've done it before. So with Lunarosa Sport already underperforming the other fragrances in the line and them moving in a different direction with Lunarosa, at least from what I can tell, you know, they did Carbon, which is kind of sauvage-y, and now they've done Ocean, which is blue fragrancy, obviously. They're kind of moving things differently. And Lunarosa Black, for that matter, really different than the original Lunarosa. So while you might think Lunarosa Sport fits in better with that whole Lunarosa soapy, clean, fresh kind of vibe than maybe something like Lunarosa Black does, I think that Prada is kind of taking the Lunarosa line now and they're trying to turn it into their line of like bestsellers and just hit after hit, at least as far as Prada's releases are concerned. So with this one underperforming and being basically Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male turned into a Prada fragrance, I think they might give it the heave-ho. Again, I think out of everything here, that one's probably the safest as of right now, and then maybe Code Colonia after that. But for these 5 in general, it wouldn't surprise me if any of these ended up being discontinued in the not so distant future. So there we go, guys. 5 fragrances I think could be discontinued soon. Let me know in the comments below if you think any of these might get the axe, or any other fragrances maybe that you have a feeling could be discontinued soon. Let me know. Thanks for hanging with me, guys. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.